Hey everybody. It's been a long time since I put a video up. My hair's changed, but it really hasn't. Because my hair was always changing. And everybody always expected it, I guess. And I just had a few things I wanted to say. I've watched a lot of free verse poetry on YouTube recently. And sometimes I'll find myself just in an emotional rant, and I'll realize that I'm ranting and it's rhyming, and it's the same thing as poetry. It's just straight, raw, uncut, unedited from the heart. So many people nowadays, they expect, oh, I write poetry and it has to sound a certain way and it has to be right. And if it's not right and it's not perfect and not every word rhymes exactly perfect, that it's a failure or a letdown. I'm here to tell you, you are not a failure and you are not a letdown. So this is my first free verse poetry. I honestly have no idea what I'm going to say. I'm going to start talking and expressing my emotions. And whatever comes out of it, comes out of it. And if I decide to put this up after I listen to it, then I will. And if not, then this is just an uncut thing I have in my phone. So here goes. The days are whirling around and spinning and circling. Everything's surrounding me. Everything is a fight, either about losing or winning. And it seems like I always lose. But that's only a perspective, because if you take a Rubik's Cube and you turn it, there's a whole nother world on the other side. We say you're looking at one side of the cube and it's only just sitting there unsolved, incomplete. But if you flip at the bottom to solve a Rubik's Cube, you have to get one face done at a time. And right now, I'm looking at all the faces that I have not solved, instead of focusing on the one face that matters the most and has the most build in my life to build my self-esteem in all of these problems. Instead of focusing on my face, I'm focusing on that person's face, and that person's face, and that person's face. Focusing on what is their problem, how can I help them, how can I put them before myself. And I don't spend enough time on me, because it's like solving a Rubik's Cube. Whenever you first solve it, you get that white side done. You get one whole complete face, and then you work on every other part of the cube, and you forget about that white side. You know that, oh, if I do the certain patterns, it'll stay exactly the same. It'll always go back to what it's supposed to go back to, and that's what life does. It continuously goes back. And as I go back, I find myself going further and further back in my mental health, and further back in my finances, and further back in my faith, in my religion, and further back from God. And I feel like the world's spinning and everything going around me and going around everybody. It's like we all have our own little worlds around ourselves that we build up, of the people that we want on our cheerleading stand, the people that we want in our band cheering us on, and then you got the hater section on the other side of the stadium, booing at your team and screaming at you and tearing you down. And sometimes it feels like I'm sitting on the visitor side, because I was always on the home side, or with my band side, with my football team side, with my swim team side. But I realized that I was always on their side and I was never on my own. I was always a part of all these little things, and I would forget that my part was actually important. And I thought, if I don't take me and put myself into something else, where am I individually? And I thought about how when I started, and this just turned into the story of my life, but you know what? Take two. It'll be okay. I'm kind of just talking right now because I need to talk to someone sometimes, and everyone needs to talk to someone sometimes, and sometimes it's hard. Sometimes we fight and we scratch and we bleed and we cry and we do everything we can to survive. But it's less about surviving and more about not dying. Because there's sometimes that everything seems like it's going wrong. And because you're diving closer and closer down to the bottom of this ocean of I can't. And whenever you finally touch the bottom, you feel like you've achieved something, but then you look up and you realize how far down you've gone, working at goals that you think will get you somewhere, but you just realized you've drove yourself further down and you have to work to get back up. It's not like in the water where you just sit there. Your body will drift. It will try to take this upward motion to the surface. It's like quicksand that you keep digging through and going deeper and deeper down in, trying to find that goal, that hope, that dream, searching everywhere to find some purpose to your life. And then you just let go. Once you get to the bottom and you're like, I made it! Now how do I get out of this? And it's like nobody understands where you're going through is what we tell ourselves. It's like I'm the only one that's in my exact situation. It's the only one that will ever understand. But there's people that are in situations that are so close to yours, but they're not exact, but they know the same feelings. There's only a certain number of feelings. It's just the combination and the imbalance and everything else is different. It's like chemicals. You can mix chemicals all day long, but if you have slightly more than another one, it will be a different compound in the end, and no two people will feel the exact same emotions. However, they're on the spectrum, and they're enough to be close enough together, but we keep telling ourselves, no, I have to be different. No, I have to be special. No, I have to mean something. Where is my emptiness gonna meet its end? Because the world flows, and we grow, and time just flies by sooner and sooner and sooner. I don't know really what the point of this video was, but I hadn't been on my YouTube in a while, and I wanted to do a free verse poem. I feel like I kind of did, and I feel a little bit better now. Sorry, y'all, I'm probably going to spam my YouTube with a whole bunch of these. If you don't want to listen to it, that's fine. If not, whatever. But I found joy in the littlest things as a kid. In my swing set. In this little YouTube channel that I started when I was in middle school, I think. That was just random, stupid, little funny stuff that I did. Some stuff I meant to do, some stuff I didn't mean to do. Some stuff I was like, hey, that would be, I took a video of whatever. I'm like, oh, that'd be cool to put on my YouTube. And then it just growed into band concerts and choir concerts and mature stuff. And I forgot how to be a kid. And people say that, oh, well, you stop playing when you grow old, but you don't. You grow old when you stop playing. So, play my video. I'm not trying to be one of those. I was just, the opportunity was there, might as well say it. Everyone else was thinking it. Don't lie. Life lessons and everything. I am in absolutely no place to give any of those. So please don't tell me I need to do those. But I'm trying to find something else to do with my YouTube now. I'm definitely still not talented enough to play my guitar continuously for YouTube, because there's a million people out there playing a guitar on YouTube. And I'm not going to be the best, but I'm not going to be the worst, but I'm still feel at my standard I'd be on the lower end. I don't know. I've got fake nails because I'm covering up my chewed bits that are underneath it. The ones that look like this. And this. And this one's actually grown, and I'm proud of this. I'm proud of this. Because through my abyss, I'm making it somehow. Not everything is covered up. Because I don't really have anywhere to cover my face anymore. But these eyes right here, these beautiful eyes that I'm seeing, that I look at myself and I look into my own eyes, and I see hope, because these eyes were not made from me or from my parents. These eyes were made by God. And they say the eyes are the windows to the soul. And I see my eyes, and I think that's the only beautiful quality I have about me. And I'm wrong. I'm trying to be wrong. I gotta realize everything of me was made by God. And everything of me is beautiful, even though it's not put together. Right now, I feel like I'm a scattered Mr. Potato Head that a 7-year-old got a hold of and then started playing football with and tried to put the pieces back together real quick and throw into the house for the little siblings to play with afterwards so they wouldn't realize it was missing. I feel like I am one of those little wee persons or Messenger memojis or Snapchat avatars, one of those that you just hit the shuffle button and you get whatever you get and then you start out working from that. And right now, I'm taking what I've gotten from hitting the shuffle button on my life so many times and I'm using that as my base and I'm starting to shape it into what I want it to be. Right now, it is definitely not it. Working minimum wage at a job that, yes, it is a good job for what it stands for, but it's tearing up my body, and I don't feel respected, and it hurts some days, and I have the worst customers some days, and it's the same stuff over and over again, and people are like, well, yeah, that's just life. Well, yeah, that's just pessimism. People say, well, that's life. Life sucks, whatever. No, life sucks because you make it suck. Life is not a vacuum cleaner trying to run around and pick up your mess and throw it all. It just puts it into a bag that holds it together and restrains it and makes it even harder that eventually one day you have to empty that bag out. So whenever life sucks, it's not going away. It's all just building up. And you got to make it not suck by turning it off for a little bit. By stepping away from the craziness of work and responsibility and be important and something you'd see on a magazine, the perfect, oh look, I just lost another fingernail picking at it. Sorry, I get distracted. Guess it's my mask coming off. I'm living in San Augustine now, and they say people look alike and they see it or whatever, and I don't understand it sometimes because I'm like, I don't really see it. I'm a chick. I'm a girl. I am a woman. My father is a man, and I walk around San Augustine and Lufkin and Nacogdoches and wherever around in my little country corner of Texas, down here in deep East Texas, and I hear people come up to me and say, don't I know you from somewhere? I say, I've only been here since September. And they say, yeah, but you look so familiar. And then I ask the legendary question, do you ever know James Rutherford? I said, oh yeah. And then I say, I'm his child. And they're like, oh my God. Because they can't believe it. How I ended up in the same little town where my dad ended up when I was a midget. Midget. I don't know if I was a small baby or not, but midget compared to my 5'7", 150-pound living, walking, breathing, cacaw-ing self right now. I just realized how long this video is, but I needed to talk to somebody, and I feel like this is my somebody. I don't have to. I'm talking to myself right now. I'm seeing this come through my phone because, like, it's right here. And all we have to be is right here. Right here. Right here. Right here. Look at that. The only difference right now is this one's all shiny and polished and pretty. And what people expect out of the world. And it doesn't look natural on my finger. And then here's this one. That's short It's got a little glue on it, and it's kind of falling apart. But you know what? Looks a whole lot more natural than this. Because that's the natural way, is to be yourself. The way that God made you. I guess that's the point I was trying to get across tonight. I don't know. But I'm definitely posting this because I feel like I made a bunch of good points, and it's raw, unedited, true emotion. And maybe me sharing my emotion and just kind of, hey, random facts of story of my life of whatever can help somebody that needs it, or let someone know who needs it that I'm here to talk, or to find their person, or to breathe one day and be a better person. We can all be better people. Just some of us choose to not to. Some of us choose to not understand, and some of us choose to try our hardest. But people don't expect people to change, and people always say, oh, people change. But they don't. Not unless they actually are trying to and they have the will to. And most people this day are lazy and don't want to. And I wish you would see that I'm changing. Because I've definitely made a lot of changes in my life right now. I mean, my gosh, my hair is a 1/4 inch off of my head. That easy of a decision to change my hair. To change who I am. God is working through me with my money, with my words, with my life. Little things that happen that I'm not going to talk about because that's between me and God and that person it happened with, but it's there, it's existing. And the only other thing I can really say past that point is God's got me. So I hope this helps someone with anything that they're going through, whatever this might help, because this is not just a limited, like, hey, try to open your feelings and talk about everything on YouTube, but people are going to see this as bad. I don't think it's bad. I think I'm expressing myself, and sometimes I haven't felt I've had the entire understanding of how to express myself, or the capability, or the being, but I'm an adult. It's time I freaking expressed myself. Guess what? This is my expression. I'm happy. I'm happy with where I sit, even though I battle depression and all this stupid crap. I battle it. The word of battle. Not just I sit here and let it happen and overwhelm, and yes, you can fight a battle, and yes, some days it's easy, and yes, some days it's hard, but there's something going against you, and it's not always yourself. Sometimes it's just is yourself. And that's for you to find out. That's for God to help you with. So I pray He helps you. Whoever needs it. Amen.